The Uni Knot is one of the most universal knots that is out there. If I had to only choose one knot to tie all my connections, the Uni Knot would actually fit the bill and do quite well at it. It's a good knot strength. It's easy to tie, so if you're in a big rush because fishers are busting around you, you can do it. Rough conditions, it's a very basic, easy knot. Not a lot of little fine detail to it. And I do it enough that I could probably do it in the dark without having a problem with it. So let's start off by doing a terminal tackle to like your hook or your lure. Now this for a lure doesn't, I don't believe, give as good as action as doing a loop knot, but it's a solid connection if you just need to do one. So to do a Uni knot, basically take your main line, run it through your hook or lure, and then run it back onto itself. So you're running basically paralleling that line back. So it's going through the hook and then right back up the line. Then what you can do is you can pinch the line. So it's all under control there. And what you're going to do is you're going to just make a loop with your tag line and hold it. So all I did is just took that tag line and looped it around. Now it's facing back up the line, up the main line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this tag line and run it around both the main line and the loop 4 times. I do 4 times for mono, 6 to 8 times for braid. Okay, so we can start looping it through the loop 2, 3, and 1 more for good luck. Okay, and then we can start snugging it up. Now you don't need to cinch it down with a lot of pressure because we're going to slide that knot down to the hook eye. So you just want to snug it up. There, the knot is done, but it's still very just loose. Take a little saliva or water to wet it down to lubricate the knot. And then all you need to do is to pull on the main line. And that's going to slide that knot down. As well as once it gets to the end there, then it's going to start cinching down on itself. Okay, and it's going to create a nice little barrel there. If you'd like to, you could take your pliers and pull on the tag line, and that will also constrict the entire knot. Give it another tug there. Make sure it's very snug, and trim off any excess that we want. Always leave a nice little tag line for any type of slippage. And there you go. That is the Uni knot. It's a nice little barrel knot, nice and tight. Won't unravel. Easy to do. And very solid. So, let's go to a line-to-line connection. Okay, now let's do a not just a Uni knot, but a uni-to-uni, which is the way to connect 2 separate pieces of line. So it's quite often used for a main line to leader, and as well as you can use it for braided line to mono. Where it really stands out is when you're using varied diameters of line. So for instance, you're using a thin braid, say 20-pound braid, and you want to tie it to a 60-pound mono leader. Because you're using 2 separate knots on individual lines, they're not actually knotted together. You don't have to worry about those odd diameters. It doesn't make a difference. So let's tie this real quickly here. So what you're going to do is you're just going to give yourself an overlap the lines, okay? And you just want to leave enough tag line on the other side to be able to work with. So we'll start with one side first, make the knot, and then we'll go to the other side, make a knot, and then jam them together. So we've got the tag end that's going this way. We're going to make a loop and then pinch it off. Once it's pinched off, we're going to take that tag line and then run it through that loop 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once you've got it through, then you can snug it up. And again, it doesn't need to be cinched down because we're going to slide that knot together. So if it's still fairly loose, just hand snug it, and that's good enough. Then we're going to take the line that's going that direction, same deal, make a loop, pinch it off, and then it's going to go through around both lines, but through that loop that we made 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we've got that done, we're just going to snug that up. Again, doesn't have to be super tight because they're going to jam together. Now we've got 1 knot for each line on both sides. They're basically connected, they're parallel. We're going to lubricate the line a bit with some spit. And then all you're going to do is pull on the main lines. And that's going to slide them together. Okay, once they butt up against each other, they're going to start compressing. And then all you're going to do is just put some heft on it. And that's going to lock them down. Since I'm actually using 80 and 80, the knots are basically identical. 4 wraps, perfect barrel knots, butted right against each other and compressed down and tightened. So now I could just trim off the ends. And there we've got our uni to uni knot. Now the negative part is just what you're seeing there. It's a fairly thick knot. So if you're running this through the guides, you could run into problems. Even if you're using a small diameter braid on one side, a larger mono on the other, the large mono side is still going to be a fairly fat knot, and it can cause problems going through a guide. So you have to kind of consider that as how you're using it. So anyways, that is both a uni to hook as well as uni to uni in regards to a connection. This is good to swivels, to weights, to your boat anchor. It all works the same. So uni knot, very good, very universal. And now, watch me catching another tarpon.